Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So going back, so after we discussed the referencing style, now we are trying to make a formula. So after writing the formula, you press the enter key. I think you're very familiar with this, yung making formula. So you can start by creating simple formula by pressing equal sign, or pwede din yung plus. Pwede ka mag-start sa plus o kaya equal sign to create a formula. Then for copying and pasting formulae, so click cell and then Control C, highlight the cell and press Control V. So just like yung pag-copy natin sa mga, let's say, text, you highlight first and then Control C, then Control V. But for this one, you click the cell first and then Control C. That would highlight the cell and then press Control. Now, the $sign, the use of dollar key allows to have control over the change of the referencing style in the copy-paste process. Ano ba yung $sign na yun na sinasabi? So, for example, you are creating a formula out of E3 plus, let's say, F3. So, halimbawa, maglagay ako ng number, random number here. Okay. So, kapag kayo ay nag-drag dito, ang ginagawa ng Excel is to copy. Pag pinindot nyo kasi itong parang cross, pababa, it will just copy the formula wherein nagmo-move din yung rows and columns. So for example, this one, eto, ang formula niya na is E3, E4 plus F4. Pero yung kanina, ang formula niya is E3 plus F3. The use of $sign is to freeze yung cell or yung freeze yung row or column dun sa formula. For example, this one, I try to put a $sign before number 3. So, ang mangyayari kapag dinrag ko yan, ano nangyari? The same. Why? Because pare-parehas lang yung content natin. So, akala nyo, walang nagbago. But if we are going to change the value, for example, nakikita nyo na nagkaroon ng changes. So, ulitin natin na. Kung wala yung $sign, pag dinrag ko yan, ayan na nangyari. But if I put here a $sign, magkakaroon ng changes. So from 490 naging 477. Why? Because yung E3 dito is kinapi niya lang dito. $3 pa rin siya. So ibig sabihin, ito lang ang kanyang source for the first formula. Now what if, imbis na dollar, dito ako maglagay, naglagay ako dito ng dollar sa harap. Ano naman na nangyari? Pag dinrag ko yan, ang nangyari is freeze ang E3. So freeze ang E natin, and then sa mga succeeding, freeze ang E pero nagbabago siya arithmetically. So ibig sabihin, kung ito ay 3, magiging E-E4 and so on. Now what if so ibig sabihin kasi nun, kapag naglagay tayo ng $sign dito sa may before the letter, it means that you are freezing the column. Ito ang fini-freeze mo na column. Now, kapag ang nilagyan mo naman ng dollar sign is yung 3, ang fini-freeze naman niya na formula is yung row 3. Now, what if naglagay ako ng parehas doon sa column and row? So, halimbawa, naglagay ako ng $3. Pag yan ay dinrag ko, meron na naman bagong changes. Meaning that you are freezing E and you are freezing number row 3. So, ibig sabihin, ang reference niya for the succeeding is yung 32 lang. Yan. Okay? Same goes here. Kung ito naman yung i-freeze ko, so at ang result niyan lahat is 54. Kasi ang freeze ko naman is etong column, cell na to, at ang cell na to. Okay? Question so far? Question? Okay, so none. Then we proceed with yung inserting functions. So we have several functions that is already available in the Excel file. So all you have to do is to check. So yan yung inserting functions, meaning that you can all look for the formula, yung mga naka-template na formula in the function key. Now, sabi niya, i-click lang daw yung fx. So, sorry, nawala ako. So, yun nga. So, dun sa function, we go to our Excel file. And as you can see, meron ditong fx. F sub x. So pag clinic natin yan, nandyan lahat ng formula na pwede natin gamitin for our statistical analysis subject. So we have the sum. Sum meaning you are adding two cells, two or more. And then the average for each cell. If is conditional to. So it is a logical process. Hyperlink is when you try to include references outside the Excel. The count is you count the number of cells. Max is the maximum value in a range. Sign is the sign of an angle. Sandali lang Yan, sorry na may tumawag lang. So anyway, nandito pa yung mga formula, some if, pero lahat naman to itatouch natin in the succeeding discussion. So huwag tayong mag-alala about it, i-discuss natin to isa-isa. Or yung mga necessary lang for our subject. Now we have the trace cell preferences. Ito is yung ginagamit natin sa pag-trace ng mga formula if ever merong mga problema or you want to check if your formula is getting the right references. So ang tawag natin dyan is the trace cell references. Saan natin makikita yon? So going back here in Excel, makikita natin yan sa formula. We have the trace precedence, we have the trace dependence, and then the watch window. Okay, what is trace precedence? So yung trace precedence is show arrows that indicate which cell affect the value of the current selected cell. So halimbawa, itong naka-formula natin na ito, we try to click the trace precedence, makikita natin na yung value na 54 is coming from E3 and F3. How about kung i-click ko ito? Click ko yung trace precedence and then you will see that the formula is coming from E3 and F3. So yan yung pan-check natin ng kung saan yung ginamit nating reference for that particular formula. Halimbawa, ito ulit. Click mo yan, dun manggagaling. Okay? So as I've discussed, yung trace precedence is coming from you're looking at the reference formula for each of the cell na ginamit mo for that particular formula. So yung A5 minus $I$11 is coming from A5 which is here and then yung I11 na naka-freeze yung cell. Pag trace dependence naman is ito naman yung kabaligtaran. So ano naman yung mga formula ay ano naman yung cell ano naman yung formula na ginamitan ng cell na i-click mo. So for example, here, if I click this 22, ano yung mga, pag click ko yung trace dependence, ano yung mga pinaggamitan ng cell na yon, ng F3. So as you can see, since itong buong range na to is coming from freeze column, free cell ng E3 at free cell ng F3, you will see that yung F3 distributed its value on this particular formula, on all of these formula rather. So, pag click ko yung 32, ganun ulit, trace dependence, you can see that it is also doon sa mga formula sa range. Yan. So, kung medyo nakakalito sa inyo mga arrow, you can click the remove arrows to remove yung mga traceability na yun. And then last is yung watch window. So sa watch window, dito natin makikita lahat ng formula na ginamit natin for that particular worksheet. So yan. So going back here, if I click this watch window, so as you can see, pag nag-add watch ako, for halimbawa, this formula yun sa D3, you can see that it is coming from cell D3 with the value of $54 for a formula of $E, $3 plus $F, $3. Bawa, inad ko to. So, ganun din. Ipapakita niya yung mga formula. Yes, May? You have a question?
Wala po.
May question ka ba?
Wala po. Napindot lang.
Napindot lang. Okay. Now, for example, this one, pwede ba yung mga walang formula? Try nating i-add sa watch. So, as you can see, yung 1291 na value na yon coming from cell F6 is wala siyang formula, meaning it is only a value. So, dito nyo malalaman kung ano yung mga sources ng particular cell na yun. So, mas malinis siyang tignan kumpara dun sa trace precedent tsaka trace dependent kasi may lalagay pa na arrow. Dito is summary na niya. So, you can always check the traceability of that particular cell. Okay? And then that's it for our discussion. Question? So far, ito is parang ano lang, introduction on how to use Excel as a tool in statistical analysis. So we're not going into other stuff related to Microsoft Excel. For example, yung mga presentations, for the purpose that it is only concentrated for our subject na statistical analysis. So we're not looking at yung mga graphics, like yung mga charts, yan, shapes, yan. We're not doing that. So we're only concentrating here in the formula tab. Okay, question? Okay, for our next topic next week, we will be discussing 2 topics so that ma-maximize natin yung 6 meetings per sem. Okay? Any more question? Regarding our subject, regarding our schedule, or meron kayong question sa classroom, Google Classroom, hindi ba nakakapasok, and so on. You can always ask now, or maybe you can message yung inyong president for it to discuss with me. Okay? Question?
Sir, excuse po.
Yes. May question?
Sir, itanong ko lang po ako sa list niyo po ang pangalan ko kasi po sa ibang teacher po wala po yung name ko sa list nila.
Okay, sige. Check ko ngayon na. Wait lang. Anong name mo?
Bayran po, Bayran Angel Marie.
Okay. Wala pa siya dito. Nakikita mo naman, di ba? Hindi ka pa ba enrolled? Hello?
Sige po, sir. Thank you.
Wala pa yung iba. So, ang official list ko pa lang is 29 yung ating class list. So, siguro meron pang hindi natatag. So, ayun. Pero, ano naman, kung kayo naman is you can always join kahit wala pa yung tagging para lang meron tayong traceability ng grades. Okay? Hindi na tayo mag-uulit-ulit for makeup exam. Yes, oo. Ilalagay natin siya sa Google Classroom. Okay, any more question? So yung quiz, mga quiz natin will be discussed siguro right after the discussion on the third topic. So yun, doon pa lang tayo mag-start mag-quiz kasi dalawang quiz lang yung allowed. Okay? But we will have some activities na pwede nating isingit kasi mahirap naman na mag-concentrate tayo sa dalawang quiz. But that will be the basis of your grade. At the same time, kung nababa yung quiz na yon, malaki yung impact nun sa kabuuan ng grades. So we will try to incorporate some activities, maybe the hands-on Excel para lang medyo may panghatak tayo sa grades. Anyway, madali naman yung subject kasi we will be using statistical software na lang, the Excel. So, hindi na siya yung katulad last sem na talagang hardcore na stats. Okay? May question pa ba? Okay, if wala na, then I suggest you turn on your camera for our documentation for this day. Hindi naka-turn on pala yung camera. Yan. Nakita ko nga uli kayo at dalawang taon na tayo hindi nakikita sa PUP. Okay? Now, let me have your big smile. 1, 2, 3. Lang isa pa. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you and see you on our next topic. Saan ba yung Zoom ko? Wala. Ayun. Thank you everyone and see you on our next meeting next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you po, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Bye. Ingat kayo.
Thank you po,
Thank you po.
sir.
End ko na